It's like being the vice president and not the president, or the assistant manager and not the boss. These are the songs that peaked at number 2 on the Hot 100 charts as published by Billboard magazine. This is coming up next on Chart Chat. Hello, and thank you for checking out Chart Chat, a look at pop music history as told by the pop music charts of Billboard magazine. I'm your host, Davey M. This video is part of 2 looking at songs that hit number 2 in the 1990s. We will concentrate on the years from 1990 to 1994. We'll also have facts behind some of the hits. You may be surprised to find some of your favorites here, so let's get started. Janet Jackson has had 10 number 1 singles on the Hot 100, but she's also had her share of number 2 songs, 4 of them to be exact. This is her first of 3 in the 1990s, Rhythm Nation. Technotronic's Pump Up the Jam was stopped at number 2 by Michael Bolton's How Am I Supposed to Live Without You? Seduction's 2 to Make It Right was prophetically titled as it stopped at number 2 behind Opposites Attract by Paula Abdul. Swedish pop group Roxette had 4 number 1 singles from 1989 through 1991. They also had 2 number 2 singles, including this one, Dangerous, stopped by Janet Jackson's Escapade. In April 1990, Don't Wanna Fall in Love by Jane Child was held at number 2 by Tommy Page and Sinead O'Connor. Sinead O'Connor's Nothing Compares to You also kept I Wanna Be Rich by Calloway at number 2. Heart missed out on having a third number 1 song as All I Want to Do Is Make Love to You was kept at number 2 by Madonna's Vogue. In 1990, Billy Idol released his 4th album in the US called Charmed Life. The first single was Cradle of Love and it hit number 2 in August. As it turns out, Cradle wasn't so charmed as it was his last top 10 hit and last song to chart in the top 40. Cradle of Love was kept out of number 1 by Vision of Love by Mariah Carey. Despite the title, Snap didn't have the power to push Vision of Love from number 1 as the power was contained at number 2. Vision of Love also kept Come Back to Me by Janet Jackson at number 2. MC Hammer's Pray was the second single from his album Hammer Don't Hurt Him, and it turned out to be his highest charting single on the Hot 100, hitting number 2 in November of 1990. Pray was stopped by Mariah Carey's Love Takes Time, and so was More Than Words Can Say by Alias. In December of 1990, Bette Midler missed out on having a second number 1 single as From a Distance was kept at number 2 by Because I Love You by Stevie B. Kathy Dennis's Touch Me All Night Long was kept at number 2 in May of 1991 by 2 songs, High Five's I Like the Way, Kissing Game, and Mariah Carey's I Don't Want to Cry. Color Me Bad, I Want to Sex You Up missed out on being the group's first number 1 song, kept at number 2 by Extreme's More Than Words and Paula Abdul's Rush Rush. Bryan Adams' huge hit Everything I Do It For You spent 7 weeks at number 1 and kept several songs out of the top, including Jesus Jones' Right Here, Right Now, Rhythm Syndicate's Passion, Lenny Kravitz's It Ain't Over Till It's Over, and Roxette's Fading Like a Flower. Natural Selection was selected to hit number 2 with Do Anything behind Mariah Carey's Emotions in October of 1991. Earlier we talked about how Bryan Adams kept 5 songs from hitting number 1. Now we talk about how his Can't Stop This Thing We Started was stopped at number 2 by Prince's Cream. I guess what they say is true. Cream does rise to the top. The second song by Boyz II Men to hit the charts, It's So Hard to Say Goodbye to Yesterday, peaked at number 2 in November of 1991 and was kept out of the top by PM Dawn's Set Adrift on Memory Bliss and Michael Jackson's Black or White. Since her debut in May of 1990, every song released by Mariah Carey hit number 1, beginning with Vision of Love. By the time she released Can't Let Go, she had 5 consecutive number 1s, but Can't Let Go would break that streak, peaking at number 2 behind Color Me Bad in January of 1992. Shanice had a number 2 hit with I Love Your Smile in February of 1992, kept out of the top by Right Said Fred's I'm Too Sexy. Eric Clapton's biggest hit of the 1990s is Tears in Heaven, which peaked at number 2 for 4 weeks in the spring of 1992. It was kept out of the top by Vanessa Williams' Save the Best for Last. Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody was originally released in 1975 and was a huge international hit. It peaked at number 9 in the USA. The song enjoyed a resurgence in 1992 as it hit number 2 on the Hot 100 after being included in Wayne's World. Jump by Criss Cross proved to be more popular at that time. Jump also kept En Vogue at number 2 with My Lovin' You're Never Gonna Get It in May of 1992. Red Hot Chili Peppers holds the record for the most number 1 songs on the Billboard Alternative Songs chart with 15. On the Hot 100, this one, Under the Bridge, is their most successful, hitting number 2 in June of 1992, also stopped by Criss Cross. TLC has had 4 number 1 songs, but they've also had 2 number 2 hits. Baby 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 was kept out of number 1 by Boyz II Men's End of the Road in August of 1992. End of the Road also kept Sometimes Love Just Ain't Enough by Patti Smythe and Don Henley at number 2 in September of 1992. Washington, D.C. R&B vocal quartet Shy might have had a number 1 song with their very first release, If I Fall in Love, but it ended up stuck at number 2 for 8 weeks, mostly due to Whitney Houston having a lock on number 1 for 14 weeks with I Will Always Love You in November of 1992. Whitney Houston also kept Rump Shaker by Rex and Effect at number 2 in December 1992. Merry Christmas! Dr. Dre's Nothing But a G-Thang peaked at number 2 in March of 1993 behind another rap song, Informer by Snow. In 1993, Mariah Carey's Dream Lover was number 1 for 8 weeks. That was enough to keep 3 songs at number 2. Tag teams Whoomp There It Is, SWV's Right Here, and Escape's Just Kickin' It. Ace of Base barely missed having their first song in the US hit number 1. It took 2 songs to keep All That She Wants at number 2. They were Meatloaf's I'll Do Anything for Love and Janet Jackson's Again. Another number 2 song by Madonna is I'll Remember, kept out of the top by I Swear by All for One. I Swear would also keep Janet Jackson's Anytime, Any Place at number 2 in June of 1994. I Swear kept yet another song at number 2, and that was Warren G and Nate Dogg's Regulate. Mariah Carey is used to having number 1 hits. She's had 19 of them. 4 of her songs, however, stopped at number 2. This is one of them, Endless Love, a duet with Luther Vandross. I'll Make Love to You also kept Sheryl Crow's All I Want to Do at number 2 in October of 1994. All I Want to Do also turned out to be the biggest hit of her career, spending 6 weeks in the runner-up spot. And that'll do it for part 1 of 2, looking at the songs that peaked at number 2 during the 1990s. Be on the lookout for part 2 coming up soon. Our channel will also feature interesting stories from the Billboard charts. Well, at least we hope you'll find them interesting. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you'll know when we post new videos. Were you surprised to learn that some of your favorites only hit number 2 on the charts? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching. See you next time.